the Son, of the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Let us continue to pray for peace and justice, especially in the Middle East. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen. Mary, seat of wisdom,
Pray for us.
in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
After the class, I will give you the leaves. You know, at fall, the leaves fall from the trees. Okay. No, it was good. Nobody failed, so it's... No. Don't be afraid. No? Don't be afraid. I'm not a destroyer, and I'm an escorter.
Thank God for that.
Okay, natural philosophy. We begin tonight a new part, a new section. Now we are entering really in philosophy. Introduction, logic was a kind of introduction to philosophy. Now we can see we enter. The method is the same. Try to read the text before, even if you don't understand everything. Read the text, try to understand the best you can. In class, I will try to explain that. We give the essential, and after I will read the text. Those elements we are studying now are very, very important because they are the foundation of philosophy and theology. So the concept, for example, like the concept matter and form, the concept of nature, or those concept of change, active potency, they are fundamental. They are fundamental. Okay? So a short word about philosophy of nature, number 15, on page 112a. Well, in some book they will not use the word philosophy of nature, they will use the word cosmology. We know what is the cosmos. The cosmos is the universe. But the cosmos is the universe organized. It is the universe as organized, with order. And if the universe is not organized, before it was organized, it was chaos. Chaos. So it is non-organized. So cosmology, but I don't like to use that because in fact cosmology is applied also to astronomy. So in fact it is good to say the study of the cosmos, but it is better to say philosophy of nature, or philosophy of nature. The nature in Greek is physis. In Greek, I will not write in Greek. Physis, okay? It's not easy. Okay, physis means in Greek nature. So when you say physics, you say natural, something physical, something natural, the origin of the word. Okay? So the notion, natural philosophy, we can say natural philosophy, philosophy of nature, is called philosophy and cosmology. Okay. So it is the science of nature, that is the discipline treating the world of nature or the physical universe in its most general aspect. So nature you know what is philosophy? Is the search to understand the reality from the ultimate causes, using the ultimate causes. So what are the most universal aspect of nature? That is philosophy. Because the particular aspects are studied by chemistry, physics, geology, all those sciences, botanic, okay, medicine. So its operation, it operates at the first level of abstraction. Well, we studied that last week, remember, 2 weeks ago, when we studied the 3 levels of abstraction, and I will come back on that in the text somewhere in your chapter here. so I will not insist on that. Remember the verb of, first we have in front of an individual. I have, for example, you have many cats, many cats. And you find in the cat something that is universal. We arrive to the definition of a cat. You remember that, huh? We try to define what is a cat. So, to define what is a cat, we don't take care of this cat, this cat, this cat. No, we try to find what are the characteristics of a cat. But those characteristics are sensible. For example, on the dimension of the cat, the speed of the cat. So we have something sensible. It is sensible, but not individual. So we abstract from the individual characteristic common to many individuals. That is the first level of abstraction. But we continue to speak about color, weather. It is what we do in physics. For example, you study the law of gravity. Well, the law of gravity, you see an apple fall on the floor, you see a cup, you see many things falling and man said that for centuries. So we try to find a law, a definition, something which would represent gravity in universal way. But gravity is always attached to something material. We can calculate speed, time, etc. So, but we don't take care of the individual, but we are preoccupied to find a concept. In fact, it is what we did when we studied what is a definition. And you remember the inseparable accident. So the accidents who are in all those individuals, they are universal. For example, a cat, every cat has a whisk. They are mouse hunter, etc. Normally. Okay. So the object and the subject of philosophy of nature. The object is the common sensible matter. It's not this matter. For example, we don't study oil, we don't study carbon, we don't study the speed of light. It is the common sensible matter, leaving aside individual sensible matter. For example, flesh and blood in general. If we, for example, in medicine, we study the circulation of the blood in the body. It can be anybody, but it is sensible. The circulation we study is something sensible. So we call that the common sensible matter. Okay? And the subject, what is under the philosophy of nature? What is under nature? Its subject is the mobile. I check in the dictionary, we can say both. Mobile. In America, I think we say mobile. Mobile. In England, mobile. Well, anyway, in Canada, we say probably mobile because we follow the Queen. So its subject is the mobile being, in Latin, ens, being, ens, mobile. That means changing, moving, mobile. And capable of being changed in any way. So what interests us, it is the being, but what it is the being as changing, mobile being. Mobile being, or if you want, being in change, or changing being. That is the object of philosophy of nature. It is true for any science. You study chemistry, you can study physics. All those science imply some change, some motion. And you have to find a law to explain the change, to explain motion. For example, in chemistry, we have to explain how we have hydrogen with oxygen may produce water, for example. There's a change, In fact, all science is studying change. Why? Because everything in the matter is changing. We are changing continually. Think about now. We begin here, and in 2 hours, 2 hours and 15 minutes, we will be at 2,000 miles farther than we are now. No? Yeah? Rotation of the Earth. I don't speak about the translation on the Earth. Every hour we cover 1,000 miles every hour. So who can say I am immobile? Nobody. Everything is changing. Okay? So we have to explain that. Okay? So the object is the common sense matter, but what is the formula? What is the subject of that, of nature? It is the fact that mobile is, that being is changing. Okay? As a science, natural philosophy investigates the principle of the mobile being. The principle. Why? How is it possible that things change? That matter change. Reality changes. How it is possible? Okay. Secondly, the various attributes or property of the mobile being, or if you want, a changing being. So that is the object of philosophy. And we have 2 weeks, Tuesday night about that. After that, we begin psychology. Okay, the next page, number 16. They're going to be 16. I will not cover 113 now, just now. You have some definition of change, accidental, substantial. We will come back on that after, okay? Because I will first study what is the mobile itself, what is matter, what is the thing changing. After that, when we know what is the thing changing, we try to understand what is change. You know? For example, we have to know what is a car before knowing how the car functions, how the car is. We have to know what is the reality. Well, if you go to the history of philosophy for the Greek, there was 2 in front of the reality of change. The Greek they were always asking questions about what is that. But they went very far. And in fact, someone, they say everything is changing. In fact, when you look at the reality, the first thing, I think everything is changing. Look at yourself in the mirror. Take the picture when you were 16 or 19 or the day of your wedding and compare. Change. If you don't,
What was that?
maybe you cannot recognize yourself. Okay, alors, everything is change. Is that the philosopher who sustained that is Heraclitus. For it, the reality, the essence of the reality is change. Everything is change. But there was another current, and that is Parmenides. Parmenides said, no, change is apparent. The reality is being. Being. Everything is being. If it's change, even change itself is being. Therefore, everything is being. Okay? So, Aristotle, he said, where is? Some say everything is being, and there is only one being, one being. Here we have we can situate immediately the pantheists. Pantheists are here. Okay. One being. The other, they say, we have being, we have nothing is fixed. And Aristotle said, wait a minute, we have to reflect on that. And he looked, for example, at the wood burning. He looked at many things in the reality, because he was a scientist. And he said, in fact, being is not totally being is not totally changed. And he say, in thing, something is something is not. That means things are made with a capacity to become something, but at the same time, they are something precise. In fact, there is something permanent under change. For example, you look at yourself in the mirror, you see, I remember when I was a little boy. When I was a footballer player, What do you recognize that under change there is always I. Something permanent under change. That is experience that everybody did. You look at the picture of your family 20 years ago, and you see it is you. Don't say, that guy, he married, no, the guy who married is you. Huh? If you cannot recognize yourself, that is a big problem. But there is something permanent under the change, but permanent. So you recognize that there is something permanent. So being is permanent, but being is permanent in change. You say, in fact, the reality is complex, it's not simple. The reality is made with something permanent, I, for example, and in change. I continue to change. So you give, both are right, both are wrong. It is right that everything is being. It is right to say that everything is in change, but everything is being in change. And because of that, he will arrive to the idea of a substance permanent under the change. So here, substance, we saw that last week, or 2 weeks ago. Substance is what is permanent, and the accident are the categories, the 9 predicament. So they change, but the substrate, the subject, substance, substare, stay under, subject to be put under, substrate or substrate, under. Something permanent under change. So change is not in the subject, change is in the accident. So we arrive to the idea of substance and accident. We already saw in logic, and that we will study in January, when we study metaphysics. But here, that in fact everything is composed of something precise and something not precise. Something determined and something undetermined. Something determined for us is my subject. But something undetermined are the qualities and the accidents in my substance, and they provoke change. But if there is change, I give you an example. Suppose I want to go to New York. I start from Cromwell. I want to go to New York. To go to New York, I must move. There is no choice, But when I am here in Cromwell, I am in potency. Potency to go to New York. That means I have the power to go to New York. I have the power to go to New York in the measure I will go to New York. So I go to New Haven. In New Haven, I have accomplished a certain distance. I have actualized. Huh? I have actualized it is something accomplished, something done, something realized, something actualized to be a new heaven in direction of going to, why I'm going to New York. Look at the word actualize. What do you have? Act. No? What is the first meaning of act? Remember? Existing. To exist. So to act is a perfection. That means when I have a new heaven, I am more in perfection, more in detail, I am more determined in my way to New York than when I was in Middletown. So I continue, I live in Stanford, finally I live in New York. When I am in New York, I'm totally actualized. Huh? I am totally in act. Huh? In act of being in New York. But because I am in act, I can say I was able to go to New York. I am a priest. But before, I can say when I was 12 years old, I was in potency to become a priest. No? If I was not in potency to become a priest, I will never become a priest. Common sense, no? That means when I am in act of something, I start from the possibility, from the potency to do or to be or to act or to realize something. So that explains change. Change, what is change? Is the passage from potency to act. The passage from potency to act. Well, you are studying here, many of you, to become either priest or permanent deacon. Okay? Or to have a diploma. Well, you are in potency. And the day you will be ordained priest, ordained deacon, permanent deacon, you will be in act. You will be actualized. You know, even the language we use is philosophical. The word actual. What is in English the meaning of actual?
Real.
Real. In fact. Huh? Indeed. Actual. Accomplished. Determined. So, change is the passage from something indeterminate or determinable to something determined. Act is a perfection in a thing. A perfection. But here we have to forget act as an action. Here act is to be taken in the first route and philosophy, to exist. So when I am in New York, I exist in New York, plainly in New York, and accomplish my will, my desire to go to New York. So I pass from potency to act. Potency of going to New York, and now the fact I am in New York. Well, that will come continually in philosophy. Continually. Why? Because it is the explanation, the metaphysical explanation of motion, of change. Well, I will not insist too much because in January we will come back on that. But it is necessary to have that because matter and form we studied just after that is the most universal principle to explain any change. The possibility, the capacity, the potency of doing something, and the passage from that potency, it is a kind of being in potency, and to arrive being in act. Being in potency, and after change, being in act. That is true for any kind of change. No? When you were a child, you were in potency to become an adolescent. And when you are in act of being an adolescent, you have the potency to become an adult. And when you become an adult, a potency to marry or to become a priest or to study, etc. etc. Every change, take simple water. You prepare your tea, your coffee. The water is cold, but the water is in potency to become hot. So something permanent. What is permanent? The water. And what is changing? The temperature. It was cold, maybe 55 Fahrenheit. And after that, it is maybe 212 boiling water. You know. So there is a passage, permanent, something permanent, and something. So the water at the beginning is in potency to become hot, and at the end is in act of being hot. Okay? So now, if we apply that to matter, well, the word matter in philosophy is a little bit touchy. I think I already explained to you. Did I speak about the carpenter putting his idea in the desk with your class? No?
What was that?
Okay. Well, suppose I will start, to understand, we have to start from analogy. We cannot understand otherwise. Well, suppose I go to a carpenter, I ask, I need a desk, special desk for my office. I am a pastor, I want a desk for my many. Okay. So, what happened? The carpenter has an idea. He made a plan. And he wants to create, he has the intention, the end to make a desk, okay? So what he will do? He will buy wood, plank of wood. Plank of wood. Plank of wood is already matter. But matter is, we call that secondary matter. Because that matter, plank of wood, are already determined. They are not plank of aluminum, they are not plank of copper, they are not plank of marble, they are plank of wood. Well, we call that secondary. Why? Because that is the touchy problem. It is, Aristotle speaks about prime matter. For him, prime matter will be a matter without any determination. Matter, it is what we can touch, we can see. Matter, something sensible, okay? Thing, material thing. So matter, it will be a matter without any determination. Is it possible that something without any determination exists? Without any determination? No. So prime matter does not exist. But it is a concept. That means if secondary matter exists, that means there was possibility that matter exists. But that time, matter at that time was absolutely not determined. It was pure potency. Okay, pure potency. Well, we cannot, it is almost impossible to imagine that because absence. Okay, if we imagine that always from matter existing. Well, now, I will not insist on that, but you must know that. When we speak about marble, we speak about cement, we speak about wood, water, we speak about secondary matter. That the matter having already a quantity, quantified matter. That means already determined matter. It is wood, it is not. It is wood, it is not ice, it is not steel. Okay, well, I come back now to my carpenter. He will buy planks of wood. Those planks of wood, they are there in the shop of Home Depot. They are there. They can become many things. They can become a door, they can become a table, they can become a bed, they can become a chair, etc. What makes the difference between those planks of wood? The idea the carpenter would put into the wood. The form, the idea, and Aristotle called that the form. So the carpenter would prime the idea, and he expressed through the plan, and he run and put that into the wood. So he will have a desk after that, no? A desk. Okay? A desk. He does not have a chair. He does that. So what happened? The wood here was in potency to become many things, no? But it was in potency to become a desk. Why? Because it became a desk. It became a desk. So what happened? There was a change from potency to act. Here it was, the wood was in plank. Here the wood is in desk. The form put into the wood is not the form of a desk. That means that is act. It is a desk in act. It's not a desk in mind. It's a desk in the actuality. Act. Exist. Okay? So that is a passage. But what did he use? He used matter. And what did he put into the matter? He put a form. What is a form? A form is a determination. A perfection. An idea, etc. He put that into the matter. So what in fact, what he did, he actualized the potency in the wood. The wood was able to become a desk. So the form is to the matter, determining the matter, is like the act of being in New York, determining the possibility of being in New York, or the capacity, the act of being a desk, determining the possibility of the wood to become a desk. You see now, there is a link between form and matter, act and potency. So we can say that the form or the act is determining, is a principle, determining thing. In fact, what is that? They are the two principles of matter. Material things are made with matter and form. Nothing is pure matter. Even communists continue to teach that there is only one reality, matter. If they study physics, you will see that even in every atom there is motion. In every atom there is energy. You know that? You study that in chemistry. In every atom, you have the center, the core, and you have turning around electron. In fact, it is so real that it is those electrons they produce electricity. Because they turn at the speed of light. One electron can jump to the other atom, the other atom, the other atom, the other atom, and here we have light. That is interesting to see that in the matter there is energy. We cannot reduce matter to, and it is so true that if a star, for example, is losing all its energy, it will become a black hole. We have the same weight, but we have a little volume and will have the same power of attraction. It's so powerful that the light passing will be curved because of that star. Right? Okay, black hole. Okay, so every matter is made with, every material thing is made with matter. Matter, it is a principle. In fact, what is that? They are the principle. What are, at the beginning, the principle of material reality. Every material reality is made with matter and form. In every reality, there is some, these are atoms and an arrangement, a certain organization of the atom. In that organization, if I say organization, if I say order, I say form. But when you study God, philosophy of God, we will see that it's a proof that there is some intelligent being to organize that. Okay? So we cover, oh yes, another thing also, I forgot. There are two positive principles, matter and form. Every material reality is made with matter and form. And that is important because when we study, in 3 weeks, we begin to study knowledge. What enters your mind from the material thing? The form. You know? The form. You have an elephant. Will the elephant enter your eye, enter your imagination? No. But the form of the elephant. The form. Not the form wrong. The form is, you know, like here you have a good example to change your conception of the word. The word form here is not square, is not circular, is not oval, or it is the perfection, the idea put into the matter. And what is abstraction is to take that idea and to take it off that abstraction. Detach from material thing the idea. If I want to define what is a desk, I will see many desks, and from all those material reality, I will try to take off, to abstract what is common to them, the form. So the word form is excessively important, excessively, one of the most important terms in our philosophy, because it will be used also in theology, and the form of the sacrament, for example. What is the form of baptism? What is the matter of baptism? So the matter, the element will be the water, and the form, giving to this element the value, the power, will be the word of the one who baptizes. That is, I can potency and matter and form, they are the most universal thing. You have to control that, to process that, to understand that. Okay? I will try this first class to help you to assimilate that. And if you assimilate that, it is for the rest of your life. I will not ask you to define me that, no, try to understand. That, for example, both are principles of matter. Matter and form, principle of material reality. In material reality, there is something which is indeterminate, can become anything, in something which is determining the form. I take the example of a carpenter, I can take many other examples. The body, human body. We are made with matter and form, no? What is our matter, my body? No, my body. But my body, is my body alone able to constitute a human person? No. It must be in form. There must be a form determining my body, animating my body. In that form, it is my soul. You know? So we can say, in the case of man, the soul is the act of the body. In fact, here we have the definition of Aristotle when he wants to define what is a soul. Interesting. Aristotle says the soul, he gives two definitions. One, it is philosophy of nature, the other is metaphysics. Philosophy of nature, form to matter, the form determining the matter, and the soul, the act determining potency. You know, all that is analogy. I told you analogy is a tool to, and what is the common, the ratio common, allowing to, it is determining, determining, perfecting, etc. The soul determines the body, perfect the body, anime the body. So Aristotle says, what is the soul? He says the soul is the form of the body. That is the idymorphic definition of the soul. He said, what is the soul in metaphysics? It is the act of the body. So when they say the act, that means the body is in potency to be determined by the soul, by the form. In everything, every material reality is made with matter and form. You cannot have pure form, except the case of man after his death. The form will be made in the state of union on earth. Every reality, every made with matter and form. It is because things are made with matter and form, then they can change. The same matter can receive many forms. For example, a plank of wood can receive the form of a desk and other many forms, you know. And the notion of act and potency. If that is applied, act will be applied to many things. We apply it in psychology, philosophy of man, it will be applied in theology. Consider the word act. When we want to define God, but we cannot define God, we want to see who is God. We will say God is pure act. Pure act means is pure determination without any potency. Pure act. But all the rest is made with act and potency. And the angels are here. They are not here. Of course, they are no matter, they are nobody. But the angels, they are in potency. They are not pure act. That means they can continue to know. They can continue to obey God. They can continue to do service to God. They can help us, etc. That notion is absolutely fundamental. If you master that, you master a great lot of things. Okay? Bon. So here we see what is changed, and change is the passage from potency to act. Is the information of the form into the matter. Take anything, even the living body. Before we, you know, our atom exists from since the beginning of the world. Your atom are as old as the beginning of the world. No? Do I exaggerate saying that? No, not at all. It is the principle of Lavoisier, Lavoisier in chemistry. Lavoisier. Poor man, he was a chemist. Because he was more instructed than more learned than the other, they guillotined him. At that time, it's like pot. He killed all those who have glasses. Because those who have glasses, they're supposed to be learned, so he killed them. So the best it is not to have glasses. Okay. Oh, yes.
So secondary matter, how do you explain the difference between, like, you know, wood and coal? Like, you know, what really makes that?
I would say every material reality existing is secondary matter.
Okay, so they're all the same.
By opposition to prime matter, which is a principle. A principle, that means if we want to have secondary matter, we must have first the possibility of something totally undetermined. But that prime matter, totally undetermined, cannot exist in reality. It exists only in my mind, is remember a being of reasoned. Oh, we studied that last class 2 weeks ago. Different level of reasoning. It is a relation of reasoning. Reasoned. That means, it is only like in mathematics minus the infinite. Does minus the infinite exist? No, minus infinite does not exist. But in the mind of mathematician, it exists in the mind, because he will say a straight line is from minus infinite to plus infinite. But that is in the mind of the mathematician. Okay. Now another principle, now I have to add. You have two principles, matter and form, or if you want, act and potency. But when the thing is in potency, for example, when the plank of wood are here, they are not a desk. So they are deprived from being a desk. If they were a desk, would be able to give a desk, to make a desk with a desk? No, it's already a desk. That means in every change, there must be another principle, which is negative principle, we call privation. Well, that is purely rational. Privation, you cannot touch that, you cannot. But it must be there. If you are in potency to become a deacon, a permanent deacon, it is because now you are not a deacon. You are there is a privation in you. Because there is a privation in you, you want to fill that privation. In fact, potency implies at the same time privation. But most of the time we don't speak about privation. But Aristotle said there are three principles. 2 positive and 1 negative. 2 positive, they are the co-principle. Co-principle. My body and my soul, they are co-principles. Matter and form, they are co-principle of everything. But there is a negative also. To become something, I must not be the thing I am to become. You understand that? Huh? If I am a priest, I will not become a priest. I am a priest. But to become a priest, I must not be a priest. So I must be in privation of being a priest to become a priest. Okay? So 3 principles: matter, form, and privation, or act and potency and privation. Okay? And privation is purely negative. And negation exists only in my mind. When you make your count at the end of the day of the week, those who have a business among you. You speak continually about that on channel 23. Red and green. So if suppose you today you pay material, you are a plumber, for example, you did $5,000, but your revenue were only $4,500. So what will be the result of that? Minus 500. Is minus 500 a reality? No. It's a privation. It's the reality in the pocket of the other. In your pocket is a privation. So the negative concepts are privation. Privation. Okay. So the difficulty of privation, it is to express something with positive word, but that has a negative meaning. So, absence of, if you want, privation is the absence of the form we should have. For example, the planks of wood, they were in privation, they did not have the form of a desk. And when they receive the form of a desk, they are no more in privation. Yes?
I kind of have a silly question, but I get the part with the wood and making the desk, but I don't get the part like if you cut a body in half, you can't take the soul out.
No, you cannot do that. But when you cut my body, suppose you cut my head, I am not a living being. My soul is not there. If I take an axe and destroy the desk, it's no more a desk. It will be other form. Other form will take a place. The form of many pieces of wood to use to put in your in the fire or your chimney. You know, okay? Understand that? But you know, you don't realize the extreme importance of this concept. Constantly will come back now. Constantly. Act and potency, matter and form. Okay? Try to understand that with the example I gave you from the desk, from the body. You know, you can multiply the example, or to go to New York, to go to become a deacon, to prepare a apple pie or a pumpkin pie. Considerably, in fact, every change is a passage from potency to act. And when the change is in materiality, is a change of form. The form of a new form enter the matter. And that is change. In fact, when you came here tonight, and now, are you exactly the same? You were in potency to understand what is matter and form. And now you are in act